All right. I think sometimes it's best just to get moving and not overthinking things. So we'll take roll downs. And then when we roll up, we'll clasp the hands behind the back for a spine extension. Now I'm going to say we'll do maybe 6 of these, because then that gives you the space to maybe choose to do 2 or 3 and take your time to check in with how the back feels, taking time to maybe squeeze the backs of the legs, shaking out the head before rebuilding the spine. So we'll all stop in a few moments, but I want you to feel that you can take it at your own pace so you can adapt it to whatever your body needs. This may be the biggest range of movement we've gone for so far today. So again, just rolling down through the spine, checking things out. A little bit of a zigzag allows us to free up the back of the body a little bit there. And coming into the fold, we can almost draw ourselves a little bit closer so the belly comes closer to the thighs before rolling up through the spine again. I'm going to do 2 more at roughly that pace, so you may choose to do 2 more or take one really slow, luxurious roll down. So exploring everything that you're feeling in the body, like when you come into your forward fold, the rush of blood to your head, and it's good to acknowledge all the benefits that we're giving our bodies in these different movements, the inversion for the brain, for the hair follicles on our head. So I'm rolling up. If you'd like to join me in rolling up through the spine, we'll clasp the hands behind the back, guiding the shoulders down and opening across the chest. Let's think about a side-to-side movement, so stepping the legs wide, taking one hand across the body and reaching until you can't go any further. Notice my heel is lifted, so I'm actually stretching from the ball of the foot right over the crest of this hip, opening up the side body into stretched fingers. Bottoms tucked, because that gives me a slightly longer lower spine, and then I'll take it across to the other side. So I'm dropping my head, maybe there's a little bit of a neck release there. Again, the back heels lifting, that diagonal stretch into the fingertips, reaching. We'll take 2 more rounds here. So again, you might want to go a bit slower, you might want to pick up the pace and get moving, taking it side to side. So feeling your way into this, even wiggling the fingers, waking up the whole body. So I'll do 1 more round here. By tucking the bottom under, I'm also getting more of a stretch over the iliac, the crest of the hip there. Last time for me, take it your pace. Hopefully feeling a little bit longer in the sides of the body. And then we'll take a very simple twist, but with soft knees. So knees slightly bent, arms wide, bottoms tucked, and we'll take this from the Kundalini yoga tradition, thinking about that spiraling and gathering of energy, heat, deep into the abdomen, lowest area, deepest core muscles. So knees are soft so we don't pull on the knees. There's that fluidity of movement from the ankles, knees, hips. So we're not rigid in this movement at all. You're aware of the head moving at the same pace. If you're getting a bit dizzy, you can keep your head forwards. Otherwise, letting the head go. So we're moving right up into the neck, down to the base of the spine. Being aware of the shoulder blades gliding on those back ribs, gradually lowering the arms so we're stretching out to the side walls. There'll be a little bit of momentum here, but take at your pace. Arms nearly your way down. And we're going to take a Kapalbhati breath of fire. So it's usually associated with the yoga tradition of breathing, but it's a breathing technique where we can engage the core muscles, and it's equally helpful in our Pilates movements. So let's take the feet under the hips, hands on the belly. Now we're breathing just out of the nose, a forced out breath, as if we're trying to blow out a candle through the nose. But what you'll notice with the abdomen is with a sharp exhalation, the navel comes back to the spine, and you'll feel your core muscles engage. So that's what we're going for. We don't need to actively breathe in, because that kind of vacuum we create, you'll automatically draw some air in. So it's breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. So it's going to look like this. Soften the knees. So if you try and do 10 with me, and then we'll take one big, nice happy belly breath, and then we'll go again. So shoulders back and down. It's great for energizing the body, getting oxygen pumped around the body. So when you're ready, take a breath in to prepare. We've got 10 rounds, and when you're ready, take a nice deep breath into the belly, and let's go again. Big breath into the belly, one more round, and off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now let's apply that breath to a Pilates movement. Let's step 1 foot forwards. The leg that's in front, the corresponding arm's going to lift. So as if we're slicing through the air, legs are going to stay straight. We'll cross through the air, and then we'll pump into the abdomen for 10 as we reach forwards and backwards. And then we'll come on up for a recovery breath. So let's set up, bottom top, legs straight. So I'm already getting hip flexor stretch on the front of this back leg. Starting position, bottom tuck, keep the legs strong, feet pressing into the floor, breath in to prepare, and then hinging from the hips, breathe out, 10. Breathe in to come up, recovery breath, 2 more rounds, breathing out, folding, and that strong breath at 10. Breathe into the belly, last round. And don't worry if you can't keep up with my clicks. It's the intention and gathering of that energy in the belly. And let's go, last round. And come on up. We're keeping this same leg in front. We're going to hinge from the hips. So now we're going to take the arms over the head, bottom tucked, and as we bend the front knee, we're aiming to tap down on the floor, but today that might be your knee. And then we'll breathe in, straightening up, and take cactus arms. So, arms overhead, breath in. As we breathe out, hinging from the hips, bending the front knee, either to the thigh or to the floor. Maybe we start to feel that transference of weight into the front foot. Control it, coming all the way up. Straightening the legs and cactus arms, shoulders back and down, zip up your core. Off we go. So bending the front knee. If you're feeling confident, you go ahead and plant the fingers and maybe lift the back leg. But rebend your front knee so you can lightly step down. Take the arms overhead to straighten up. And cactus arms. Let's try that a couple more times. Your level doesn't mean we need to go or progress, try anything new. Let's just think about bending the front leg, starting to fold, and just see where you get to. It's an option. Even if we keep the back toes on the floor, we're still practicing balance and a transference of weight. Wherever you are, we're trying this once more. Take cactus arms here, shoulders back and down. So last time, big stretch, bottom tucked, bend the front knee, your version. Feel weight coming into the front foot. Taking a lift, rebending, and come on up. One more thing with this leg forwards. Right here we are. The back heel, see if we can lift the back heel up, both legs straight. Now as we bend the front knee, as we're now used to doing, turn and open the arms to the back wall. Other side wall, depending on where you started. Return forwards and lower the heel. Let's try that again. So lifting the heel, bend the knee, and then chest wide open. So I'm reaching, I should stand this way. Reaching forwards and backwards, and then resetting. Big breath in, tall, breathing out and opening. Shoulders down away from the ears, square up, and off we go. Shoulders down. Keep this front knee tracking forwards. It's squeezing your inner thighs together. Last 2. Breath in to reset. Bottom tucking strong, long, and then opening. Shoulders down. And then last time. And then we have the whole sequence to the other side. But we'll shake out the legs in between. So let's gently support and step the back foot forwards, and let's shake out the leg. All right, other leg forwards. Let's think about that slicing action. We've got that breath of fire, engagement in the core, toes, knees pointing forwards, front leg, corresponding arm lifting. Bottom tuck. So I'm already getting a hip flexor stretch now on the other leg, shoulders down. Take a breath in to prepare. And as we breathe out, the arms cross over, and let's go. 10, the breath of fire, 9, 8, breathe into the belly and press up. 2 more rounds, bottom tucked, and off we go. Long spine, looking down at the floor, long neck, go. Breathe in to come up, 1 more here. Prepare, and off we go. Brilliant, and then come on up. Here, next we're going to tap to the floor or hold the knee. So let's first of all take the arms overhead, take a breath in, then bend the front knee, hinge from the hips, and see how we feel about transferring weight to the front foot on this side. Then with control, no rush, coming back up. Cactus arms, shoulders back and down. Sense of drawing the ribs together here so we don't flare and open. It's strength in the front of the body. All right, off we go. So bend the front knee. Maybe flirt with the idea of creating a tripod. Fingertips framing the front foot. Feel the transference of weight. Find your way up. Doesn't matter what pace. I'd rather you go much slower and feel secure. If you feel you want to have a go at lifting the back toes, take your time. Make sure there's virtually no weight left in the leg before you lift and straighten your base leg. But then we rebend the base leg so that we can lightly step down and control our way back up. Cactus arms, just as a nice reset. Last few rounds. Shoulders down. If you're feeling more adventurous, we can go into standing split, so we can hold the ankle. Again, be careful with that transference of weight when we lift. And same thing, we rebend the front knee to lower down and come up. Let's have 1 more and then we'll take that open twist. Doing well. Amazing. All right, so the last thing on this side, we're lifting the back heel. So let's have a go at lifting the back heel, keeping the legs strong and long. And then we bend the front knee and twisting the upper body. So it'd be tempting for the knee to stay open. Let's keep the knee tracking forwards. And we take a stretch forwards and backwards through to the fingertips. Take it back up. Pyramid shape, long through the arms, and breath out. Engagement in the core, just not using the breath, but the same muscles, navel to spine. We're going the same slow, controlled pace. Breath in to prepare, bottom tucking under, so we keep the lower spine long. And as if you're pressing through something down so you can lift the head and lengthen the neck. A sustained engagement in your glutes. Let's have 2 more here, and then we can shake out the legs. Shoulders down, reaching in so many different directions. Your back heel to the back wall, and pressing into the floor to come up. So when we come out, we'll step the back foot forwards. You can support yourself on the knee, and gently step forwards. Well done. All right, shake out the legs. We'll take 1 little balance here. We've not done the either for quite a while. So let's go straight into placing the weight into your right foot. And we'll swing the left leg around. Maybe the toes stay on the floor. Let's find this kind of crossing, twisting of the legs. If you feel balanced here, you can go ahead and wrap the toes around the ankle. That's optional. Already we're loading onto that base leg. Now, the leg that's on top, let's take the corresponding arm on top of the other arm. Backs of the hands come together, or more or less. Maybe the palms come together. Now remember, if your balance is a little bit off on this side, place those toes on the floor just to give yourself a little bit more of a base. And then, if you're okay here, start to bend both knees more and lift the elbows. So they'll come in front of the face. So that's the idea. So breathing deeply, feeling that work between the shoulder blades. Garudasana, eagle. Good for your balance, concentration, working into the shoulders. See if you can manage one more breath here. And then slowly release and shake out the arms. Shake out that leg. Take it to the other side. Place your base foot and have a go at wrapping the leg. It may feel a little bit different on this side. Find where you feel secure but challenged. And the same limb across the body. Backs of the hands, or if that's not working, just crossing, and the idea of linking the elbows will give you the same strength to work between the shoulder blades. Maybe the palms come together. So finding a point, remember those toes can come to the floor for balance, and let's start to bend the knees. So keeping upright in the chest, like we're gliding down a wall, sinking the weight into the heel of the base foot as we lift the elbows. To feel that separation of the shoulder blades, quite hard to reach area of the back. Breathing deeply. Try to think about your front ribs together, your navel to spine. See if you can manage one more breath. Think about it, we're down to the mat after this. And then release out, shake out. Let's pass the hands behind the back to roll the shoulders back and down. And have a little shake. We're coming onto all fours. So you can take a roll down, or maybe you're already on the floor. Come down. And let's go into nice cat-cow. So releasing the toes at the back, breathing in to the up. And then a breath out, rounding the back, chin to chest, point the toes, release out the back of the body. 2 more rounds, take it at your pace. Nice breath in, we're sticking the bottom out here. So contracting the muscles of the lower spine, stretching your belly. And then reversing chin to chest, stretching the back of the body. So shoulder blades separating, chin tucked right in. Last time, breathing in to extend the spine, and then the breath out to flex. All right, we're going to take a climber movement. You can take this from a plank or down dog. Well, let's do one round from all fours. Breathe in and extend your right leg out behind you. Breathing out and tap the same elbow, the corresponding elbow. Breathe in and extend the leg behind, your belly away from the floor, press away from the floor. Breathe out, knee to nose, round the back. Breathe in, re-extend the leg. And now across the body to the opposite wrist or elbow, to working into the obliques there. And re-extend, lower the knee, other leg. Stretch out your left leg. Now everything's pressing away from the floor. Anything that's touching the floor, press away from the floor. So we get that engagement in the belly. Breathing out, tapping the same elbow. Breathing in to re-extend. Going for your nose. A little bit more rounding at the back here. And re-extend. And then we'll go for the opposite elbow. So a little bit of a twist. So that internal rotation of that knee driving forward. And re-extend and float down. We'll do another round, but we've got the option to do this from a down dog. Your choice. Have a go at initially taking a down dog, pedaling it through from one foot to the other. So you have a chance to stretch out the calf muscles. Pause here for another breath, and then you choose whether you want to have a go at this from a down dog position or to lower the knees. So either way, find whichever you fancy doing. Let's lift the right leg for a big breath in. As you breathe out, allow the body weight to shift forwards and tap the same elbow. Keep your gaze down to the back and neck long. Breathe in and re-extend. Breathing out, rounding of the back as we go for the nose. Breathing in to re-extend, breathing out across the body. See if you can go right to the end of that exhalation. So really emptying the lungs, navel back to the spine. Re-extend, and then the right foot's to the floor. Taking it to the other side. Remember, knees can come down at any time. Breathe in, extending the left leg up high, three-legged dog. Breathing out, shifting the body weight forwards and going for your triceps or your wrist, anywhere along that way. Breathing in to extend, going for the nose, rounding the back, empty the lungs, and re-extend. Nice big breath in here across the body. Use that rotational strength in the core to take the knee across the body, re-extend and lower the leg. Last round, maybe the knees come down for this one, maybe for the first time you lift. Your choice, lift the right leg, a big breath in here, breath out. Let's point the toes just because it looks nice and we've got engagement along the whole chain of the leg. Breathing in to extend, this time it'll be to the nose, rounding the back. Big breath across the body. Maybe going a little bit higher and extend. Ready for the last leg. Come to your three-legged dog or that balancing cat position. Breath in to prepare, breathing out, same elbow. Extend, going for your nose. And extend. Last time across the body. Re-extend. And then the legs down. Lower the knees. Take the knees out wide as your mat if you're on a mat. Big toes together. And allow your chest to come into this wide-legged child pose. So you can stack the forearms and let the head rest there. Take 2 breaths here, and then we'll add on an optional twist. So, no sudden movements, we lift the head. If we think about threading the left arm through, notice my palms facing upwards, through, and maybe the cheek will come to the floor. If this feels like the floor is just too far away, we can just come onto the forearm and let the head droop. So we're still letting a bit of tension come out of the neck. However, I said it was optional, so you can just stay center. If you're threading through, with placing a little bit of weight on that left shoulder if you're mirroring me. And pausing here. So we're still getting that inner thigh stretch from the wide knee child pose. The threaded through arm, we're hopefully creating a little bit of space into that shoulder. But at the same time, the compression, it's a good kind of stress we're placing on the joint. Any connective tissues anywhere in the body, if we stress them, they ultimately get stronger. That's the way they work. So a little bit of positive compression, stress is all good. Take one more breath on this side if you're taking the thread through. Otherwise, stay center and just concentrate on a nice, easy breath in and out of the nose. So we'll slowly release the arm if you were threading through, take it across the other side. Palms up, thread it all the way through, and start to turn your chest, your head to the other direction. The free hand can help prop you up, can help you to rotate a little bit more in your upper spine and the head to face the sidewall, or you can just relax. Nice deep breaths, calming breaths in and out of the nose. Wonderful. Last 2 breaths on this side. And then slowly lifting the head, we're going from all the way forwards onto our bellies. To come onto the tummies, we'll clasp the hands behind the back, rolling the shoulders back away from the floor. Point the toes and zip the legs together. Tuck your bottom under, so the pubic bone is pressing into the floor. Keep your gaze down, but peel your shoulders away from the floor. We're going to float the head just an inch or 2 above the floor. Clasp hands reaching back for your heels. And now see if you can pull your tummy button away from the floor. So bottoms tucking, we're finding some tone in those core muscles. Squeeze the legs together. Find that work on the inner thighs, squeezing the legs together, point the toes, active through the legs. Keep working the front ribs together and your tongue button off the floor. Of course, it won't lift, but the intention will strengthen your core and support the lower back. And slowly lower the head. Take a recovery breath where we now can feel the belly pressing into the floor as we breathe in. And then right at the end of the out breath, re-engage, squeeze your glutes, point the toes and zip the legs together. Roll the shoulders back. Keep the back of the neck long. So shoulders peeled back. That naturally would make us want to flare the ribs. But see if you can keep that upper abdominal strength engaged so the front ribs are still together. And we'll find that tilt in the tailbone, so the pubic bone is curling up to the ribs. We have that tone in the lower abs. You're nearly there. Hold it, lengthen. Definitely think about reaching forwards and backwards rather than up to the ceiling. Just the shoulders are peeled back. And lower the head. Well done. Release the hands. Press the hands into the floor under your shoulders and briefly take it back to a child pose and just rock across side to side from one shin bone to the other. From here, we'll take a little twist. Place your hands across to one side, still head dip down, just taking that side bend with the elbows still heavy, head heavy, just opening up the side of the body. And nice deep breath. So the breath in, happy belly breath, feel the belly pressing into the thighs. And feel the whole body melting down and softening as you breathe out. Let's take that twist, side bend, roll it to the other side, placing your hands around. Deep breath in and allow the whole body to soften as you breathe out. Wonderful. You can take your time to roll onto your back, hug the knees into the chest. Just with the breath, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we can extend one leg. Breathe the knee back in, breathe out, extend the other leg. It's a nice gentle movement, but we can take this into a more active movement by engaging the core. We can start thinking about extending the legs as we breathe in, breathing out. Knee in, the other leg straight. Think about tucking your chin into the chest. Long line at the back of the neck. Try to find a position where the shoulder blades feel flat to the floor. And then whatever level of intensity you're going for, if we're taking the knees in and alternating with the extension of one leg, or taking the legs overhead and loading onto the core a little bit more, wherever you are, see if you can be really aware of the curves of the spine and try to keep them exactly the same, irrespective of what the legs are doing. So we're using the stabilizers in the core to keep the spine long, but with its natural curves, just no change in those curves as we shift weight forwards and backwards between the legs. And then we'll do the same thing with straight legs. Let's take a stretch into the legs, legs overhead, and the stretch of the backs of the legs, holding the back of the leg and extending the other leg, breathing in overhead and lengthening through the other leg. Shoulders down. If this is not good for your neck, leave your head on the floor. It's not actually correct when I say extending. So a misleading use of the word extending. I should say straightening. Let's still work with the breath, breathing in as we switch, breathing out, scissoring the legs apart. And then both knees into the chest. Drop the knees to one side, look in the opposite direction with the arms out wide. Take a moment to let the shoulders drop. And then take the knees up and over to the other side, just a gentle spinal twist. It's also good to finish the session with a bit of stillness in the body and the mind. And if you'd like to end with the knees into the chest, for a little rock on the spine. And very well done. You worked very hard today. Super, super.